Welcome to Popcorn Chat. I'm Kurt Jarvis. The two movies I will be reviewing for you this week are 21 Jump Street and Jeff Who Lives at Home. But first, I had a suggestion made to me that I should get a sponsor for the show. So my sponsor this week is the Save Ferris campaign. And for some reason, on the shirt, they have a picture of Cameron, not Ferris. Epic movie shirt fail. Don't know why. Everybody knows who Ferris Bueller is, and it's not this guy. Anyway, let's start with 21 Jump Street, starring Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. This, of course, is a remake, or is a movie. It's not a remake of a movie. It is just a movie about a TV series that used to star Johnny Depp and Peter DeLuise. And, of course, that was Johnny Depp's first big acting gig to catapult his now, legendary career. The difference in this is that 21 Jump Street as a TV show was a drama with comedic elements. This movie, 21 Jump Street, is a comedy with dramatic elements. They just totally switched it around. And overall, I thought it was very funny. I actually sat back and enjoyed this movie. And here's basically what's going to happen with this. If you like Jonah Hill, you're going to like 21 Jump Street. It's his baby. He actually wrote some of this and executive produced it. It's really his idea from what I understand. And if you like his comedy, then you're going to like 21 Jump Street. If you don't like his comedy, you're not going to like this movie at all. I thought it was very funny. And my only complaint about it is that it set a really nice, energetic pace of comedy from beginning to about the middle part of it. And then when it took its dramatic turn, because they like to do that nowadays in movies, it really dropped in energy. Now, they did get it back by the ending, but that's really tough to do, and a lot of times it doesn't happen. And because what you basically get is when you drop energy, you pull focus as an actor. And, and as a director, that's just not a good thing that you want to do. And so their tone of the movie completely changed, and then they try to get it back at the end. So it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But the one thing that really works that I enjoyed about this movie is that during the action scenes, they're making fun of modern-day action movies because modern-day action movies are so freaking ridiculous and trite, and they throw in elements that are completely obvious to what they're doing to make fun of that. I found that to be great. I loved it because it's everything that I complain about, too, in modern-day action movies. Also, a little note, Johnny Depp, Peter DeLuise, and Holly Robinson, all three who were in the TV shows, make cameos in the movie. Very good, very funny, very poignant. Like I said, there's nothing new. It's not a groundbreaking comedy or anything like that. But if you like Jonah Hill comedy, like I said, I do like Jonah Hill's comedy. I think he's funny. You're going to enjoy this. That's pretty much the bottom line to that. Let's move on to Jeff Who Lives at Home, starring Jason Segel and Ed Helms. This movie is ironically marketed wrong, in my opinion. It's marketed as a comedy. And while it is very funny at times, it's more of a drama. It really is. And I'm real curious what they were trying to search for when they marketed this. The movie overall is fantastic. It's outstanding in my opinion. I really felt in the moment during this entire movie. The comedic scenes are hilarious. I mean, the premise of it is Jason Segel plays Jeff, who basically lives in his mom's basement. He's 30 years old, and he's not dealing with his father's death very well. Ed Helms plays his brother, who has a job and is really pushing to become something in his town. He buys a Porsche that he can't really afford, even though he still lives in an apartment building, and that sort of thing. And that's the dynamic of their relationship. One is, quote-unquote, the loser. One is, quote-unquote, the winner. And, of course, that all comes to a head in the movie. And what I really enjoyed about this movie was the writing mechanisms of this. The screenplay is fantastic. It's written and directed by a brother, a team of brothers, and not the Coen brothers. But it starts off with Jeff gets a phone call from probably a creditor or something looking for a guy named Kevin. Well, there's nobody that lives there by the name of Kevin, even though the guy on the other end doesn't believe him and basically says, get Kevin on the phone, blah, blah, blah. Well, Jeff becomes obsessed with the name Kevin for the day, and this is what he does. He's kind of neurotic. He has these neurotic thoughts, and so he goes out and search. His mom gives him a chore to do, so while on that chore, he starts seeing a guy who has a jersey that says Kevin on the back, so he follows that guy, and he just becomes obsessed with the name Kevin for the day, and that is a writing mechanism that was effectively used throughout the entire movie. As he's following Kevin, stuff's unfolding in front of him. Between him and his brother, him and his mother's got her own life, that sort of thing. It was really well done. I liked it. It didn't feel forced at all. It flowed very, very nicely. I even cried a little bit at the end because Kevin becomes a very big point at the end of the movie. And it's about brotherhood, it's about family, it's about destiny. Very well done. I was very surprised. I was expecting a comedy, and I got a drama, but it didn't ruin it because it was done very, very well. So I highly recommend both 21 Jump Street. If you just want a nice sit back and eat your popcorn kind of action movie comedy, go see 21 Jump Street. If you want something with a little bit more soulfulness to it, a little bit more heart, and a little bit more, tension, then go see Jeff Who Lives at Home. And you won't be disappointed with either one of those. On DVD this week, two very, very good movies. The Muppets. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why. It's so much fun. You cannot shut that movie off after watching it and not break out into song and dance for like 2 days. It's just not possible. And also, it's a Jason Segel movie, just so you know. He actually bought the rights to it. He wrote it. He starred in it. I mean, Jason Segel is a very, very talented man. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most talented actors going right now. I think he's amazing in his dramatic acting, his comedic acting. He's a musical genius. I like the man a lot. Think he's got a very bright future. The other movie is my #1 pick for 2011, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I know a lot of you out there have already rented what you thought was that movie, but it ended up being the one that was made in Norway or Finland or Sweden or all three, and you were like, what is this about? The American version is out this week. Now you need to go get it. Now you need to watch it. I suggest getting the family together, watching the Muppets, and then when the kids go to bed, dim the lights, put on the gritty, the gutty, the intelligent chase that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for mom and dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom, because I don't care who raises kids. I think you're all doing a wonderful job. So, come back next week and I will do the Hunger Games, the very highly anticipated Hunger Games. I can't wait. I've already got my tickets. I'm ready to go, and I will give you a very honest review. And I'll tell you this, sneak peek to it, I have not read the books. My daughter has. I have not, so I've got a lot to ask her about it after we see it. So I will try to give you a very, very broad view of the Hunger Games next week. Until then, I might see you at the movies.